The thing that stopped the trade conversation with Odell Beckham Jr. is because the team that was most aggressive in pursuing him was the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots were trying to get Odell Beckham Jr. all last offseason.
That's Chris Sims yesterday, stirring things up and sparking some reaction among Patriots fans, among Giants fans, and pretty much everyone, with the idea that when the Patriots swooped in and showed real interest in Odell Beckham Jr., trading for Odell Beckham Jr., the Giants eventually realized, maybe this
we shouldn't give them to those guys.
Maybe if the Patriots, and think about, I wrote something about this yesterday, Chris. They remember when they traded for Randy Moss. Nobody thought Randy Moss had anything left, and he has one of the best seasons of any receiver in NFL history. They traded for Wes Welker. They traded for Chris Hogan. They traded for Brandon Cooks, and yeah, they flipped him after a year, but still they trade. I mean, when they trade for a guy,
Talib. I mean,
guys they trade for tend to work out more often than not. Better than the guys they sign in free agency, frankly. When they're willing to give up draft pick compensation for somebody, that means they see something with that guy. And they saw something with Beckham, and as you said yesterday, it caused the Giants to keep him. And I want to spin this forward.
Yeah.
Because I still think, and that's how this all came up in the first place. Last week, Jay Glazer made a bold prediction that he thinks Beckham's going to be traded. I think there's a good chance he's traded. The 49ers are still interested in this guy. I don't know that the Patriots could pull it off now, and I don't know that they want to pull it off. They've kind of made that shift toward power running to set up the pass. I don't know that Beckham is a guy that they would want now the way that they may have wanted him a year ago. But the 49ers are still in this, and all it takes is one team to be interested. Other teams may get interested, and I think this is something that's going to heat up.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. This is, again, this is something I kind of knew all throughout the season. I had heard this, and then as the season went on, I talked to people, and I know people all around the league, and it came up a few times in conversation. I think this was known, as far as an under-the-radar fact in league circles, and, of course, that's why it did come out. Jay Glazer talked about it last week. You talked about he picked the question to then answer it to say, this is the bombshell I think that will happen, this offseason. So he knew. That's why he kind of let it out that way. And I just figured, hey, why not talk about that and kind of let it out to what I know about the subject in general. It would have been fascinating to see Odell Beckham Jr. up there with the New England Patriots. I'm amazed at the anger the Patriot fans showed at the fact that this could happen. I don't know. Did they not want to go 16-0, or do they not want to go 19-0? I don't even understand that. But either way, yes, I don't think all this trade talk with Odell Beckham Jr. is done yet. I don't. And I think there would be, of course, a number of teams that would want to pursue him, not only because of his talents, but like you said before, his contract is quite favorable as well.
KB on Twitter says, Chris Sims is an idiot. He talks and all I hear is Charlie Brown's teacher.
That's good.
Wah, wah, wah.
That's good.
But here's the thing.
KB, eat it, buddy. You don't know crap. I know more than you. Go ahead.
Patriots, he's very humble and subtle there. Subtle. Patriots fans are always going to be upset about anything that would go against the status quo, because they're going to rally the troops around the status quo. That's just what they do. And look at it this way. They won the Super Bowl.
Right.
So, if you change one of the factors in last year's equation, if you add Odell Beckham to the mix, the best case scenario is you're going to do what you did anyway. So I can understand why they'd be a little hesitant. The question is, going forward, do you think it's something the Patriots would want to try to pull off? And would the Giants even want the 32nd pick in the draft for Odell Beckham Jr., plus whatever else the Patriots would throw on top of it?
They would probably have to throw a lot of sweetener in there to begin with. But, no, I would think that this would be a year they can't pull that off. Last year they had 2 first-round picks, right? I think they've kind of shaped their team to where they're going in the future. They're obviously going to look for a quarterback at some point, probably another receiver. They definitely need to add that to their roster. But as far as Odell Beckham Jr., do I think he would have worked in New England? I do, because New England is the most humble experience there is, and he loves playing football. I know that, but I don't think this conversation's dead yet, Mike.
I just don't. I remember what happened with Chad Johnson in New England, and you have to completely give up who you are, and I don't know that would have worked.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.